Shen Yu has just stepped into a new role with Simcare. And at first, this may look like a beautiful skincare campaign and nothing more. But look a little closer. There is the Golden Camellia cream. There are collectible photo cards and stickers. There is even a limited edition mirror and comb set featuring the campaign. And behind all of it is a message about time, beauty, and choosing your own moment to bloom. So why did Simcare choose Shen Yu for this campaign? And what does this collaboration actually tell us about the image Shen Yu is building beyond her acting career? That's what we're going to explore. Welcome back to Asian Star Spotlight. Here, we don't just talk about Shen Yu's dramas, pairings, possibilities, and co-stars. We explore the stories, the facts, and the bigger picture behind her journey. Now, let's take a closer look at Shen Yu's latest chapter with Simcare. On August 25th, Simcare rolled out its latest campaign featuring Shen Yu, introducing her as a brand ambassador for the brand. And the timing of the rollout was deliberate. The campaign was teased over several days before the main launch, building anticipation around Shen Yu's images, the new product, and the accompanying merchandise. For international fans, this kind of rollout can be easy to overlook. You might see a few beautiful photographs appear online and think, Shen Yu has another skincare endorsement. But within China's entertainment and e-commerce ecosystem, a major celebrity campaign can become much bigger than the advertisement itself. There is the commercial campaign, the product launch, the fan discussion, and then there are the collectibles designed specifically to give fans something tangible connected to the celebrity. That is exactly what makes this campaign interesting. Because Simcare isn't simply putting Shen Yu's face beside a bottle. It's building an entire experience around her. If you're an international Shen Yu fan, you may not be familiar with Simcare. The company was founded in Guangzhou in 2019. The brand has positioned itself around functional skincare, particularly skincare designed with sensitive skin in mind. And this is important because Simcare isn't presenting itself as a company built around one celebrity or one viral product. It has developed multiple product lines and has invested heavily in research and product development. The company says it has more than 500 patent applications, including more than 200 invention patents, as of March 2026. So when Shen Yu appears in this campaign, she's entering an established Chinese beauty brand with its own identity and research-driven positioning. That gives the partnership a little more weight than simply saying, Shen Yu is advertising a cream, and now we get to the product at the center of the campaign. The hero product being promoted is the Golden Camellia cream. Golden Camellia has become an important part of Simcare's recent product development. According to the company's own history, its Golden Camellia ingredient was officially registered in December 2024. The brand's messaging around this line focuses on concerns such as firmness, visible signs of aging, skin resilience, and maintaining a healthy-looking complexion. But the product itself isn't actually the most interesting part for our story. It's the idea Simcare has built around it, because the campaign repeatedly brings us back to one concept: time. Known internationally as Simcare, the campaign uses the language of flowers blooming, seasons changing, light, and time. And one of its central ideas is essentially, don't let time become a limitation. Another message tells us that the season of blooming is something we can determine for ourselves. That is more meaningful than it might sound in an English translation. The imagery of a flower blooming is being used as a metaphor for a person's best moment. A flower doesn't force itself open. It develops, reaches its moment, and then it blooms. So instead of presenting beauty as something that has to be constantly chased, the campaign is presenting it as something that can exist at different stages of life. And this is where Shen Yu becomes particularly interesting, because the campaign isn't presenting her as someone desperately trying to look younger. It's presenting her as someone who is already comfortable in her own moment. The message isn't simply, don't age. It's closer to, don't allow time to decide your worth, or when you're allowed to shine. And that is a much more elegant message for a celebrity campaign. This is the part I find most interesting. Simcare could have chosen any number of actresses or celebrities for a beauty campaign. So why Shen Yu? Obviously, her visual appeal is part of the answer. But that alone doesn't explain the entire choice. Shen Yu has spent much of her career occupying an interesting space between approachability and elegance. Audiences first became familiar with her through youthful, relatable characters. But over the years, we've also seen her move into more mature roles. Larger events, fashion appearances, commercial campaigns, and increasingly sophisticated visual concepts. And yet, she hasn't completely abandoned the warmth and natural quality that made audiences connect with her in the first place. That combination is valuable for a skincare brand, because Simcare's campaign isn't built around an unreachable image of perfection. The mood is softer, more natural, more composed. And Shen Yu can communicate that kind of beauty without appearing completely disconnected from the person audiences already know. That's an important distinction. The campaign doesn't need Shen Yu to become someone else. It needs her to represent a version of herself that feels more mature, confident, and refined. Now here's something international fans may find particularly interesting. Buying the product can come with Shen Yu-themed merchandise. Depending on the promotional package, fans can receive items such as photo cards, collector's cards, stickers, limited cards, and a mirror and portable comb set. At first, you might think, why would a skincare company need all of that? But this makes much more sense when you understand the relationship between celebrity fandom and commerce in China. A celebrity campaign can become an event that fans actively participate in. They don't just watch the advertisement. They follow the launch, share the promotional images, discuss the products, collect merchandise, and they sometimes purchase products partly because supporting the celebrity is itself meaningful to them. So the merchandise isn't necessarily an afterthought. It can be part of the strategy. The skincare product brings the consumer into the campaign. The celebrity gives the campaign emotional value. And the collectibles give fans something they can actually keep. That's a very different experience from simply seeing a celebrity in a television commercial. For me, the most interesting part isn't actually whether this cream becomes a bestseller. It's what this partnership adds to Shen Yu's commercial image. She's already known internationally as an actress. But celebrity careers aren't built only through acting credits. Fashion campaigns, beauty partnerships, endorsements, magazine appearances, event invitations, and brand collaborations all contribute to how a celebrity is positioned in the public eye. And Simcare places Shen Yu in a beauty category built around skin confidence, refinement, natural beauty, and longevity. That's significant because it complements rather than completely contradicts the image audiences already associate with her. She's not being asked to sell an extreme transformation. She's being associated with a more subtle idea. You can continue to evolve without losing yourself. And honestly, that feels very fitting for where Shen Yu is in her career right now. And this is where I think the campaign becomes even more interesting. Just recently, we've been watching Shen Yu appear at major events and seeing fans talk about the way she carries herself now, compared with earlier periods of her career. And then this campaign arrives with a message about time and blooming. I wouldn't say the campaign was designed specifically around Shen Yu's entire career journey. That would be speculation. But the symbolism is difficult to ignore. The campaign tells us, don't let time become a limitation. Don't wait for someone else to decide when your moment has arrived. Your season of blooming can be your own. And Shen Yu is now standing at a point in her career where that message feels surprisingly appropriate. Not because she has suddenly become a completely different person, but because she has had time to grow into different versions of herself. The actress we first discovered years ago doesn't have to disappear for a more mature Shen Yu to emerge. Both can exist, and perhaps that's what makes this campaign feel more natural on her than it might on someone else. So yes, this is a skincare campaign, Yes, the Golden Camellia cream is at the center of it. And yes, Shen Yu's beautiful campaign images are probably the first thing that caught most of our attention. But underneath all of that is a much more interesting story. Simcare is selling a product, but it's also selling an idea about beauty. Beauty that doesn't need to be rushed, beauty that isn't completely controlled by time, and a moment of confidence that doesn't need permission to arrive. And Shen Yu is being positioned right at the center of that message. Whether this becomes one of her biggest commercial campaigns, or simply another beautiful chapter in her career, it adds something interesting to the picture we're already building of her. Not just as an actress, but as a woman whose public image is continuing to evolve. Now I'm curious about what you noticed. When you first saw Shen Yue Simcare campaign, what stood out to you most? Her visual transformation, the Golden Camellia concept, the message about time and blooming, or the Shen Yu collectibles? And here's another question. Do you think this campaign feels like a natural fit for Shen Yu's image? Or would you have preferred to see her represent a completely different kind of brand? I genuinely love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed looking beyond the surface of this campaign, subscribe to Asian Star Spotlight. Because with Shen Yu, sometimes the most interesting story isn't in the headline. It's in what the headline is quietly telling us. Take care, Star Mooncakes, and see you in the next one.